Alright, so we're going to load up the airbrush with a little bit of green. We're going to start the base color for the portholes. And I just realized, this is a great tip. These sriracha bottles are awesome. Every once in a while I got to replace the cap. But this is my homemade airbrush mixture. And I just realized it sat with a terrible cap on for too long and something solidified at the bottom. I'm not sure how it's going to work now. I might have to make a new batch and make sure my cap is a little tighter. But let's load up some dark green here to get the base coat going. I am using my I forget the name of the company. Kharadron Evolution airbrush. This is it's a 0.2 millimeter needle, so it's pretty small, and it's really just good for small detail work. I even think I might have bent the tip of my needle. I did sand it down a little bit. You can sand it with super fine grit to take any edges off that might occur. So hopefully I'm kind of not running with my favorite things here, because my thinner is messed up and my airbrush might be broken. So let's just start. It doesn't matter. So I am going to do all these portholes green, and I can tell my thinner is a little too thin, which I don't like. But we'll just build this up then, if that's the case. If your paint's a little thin, you can just build it up in layers. Use a lot of air. And not so much paint. So we'll just do that there, and we'll start with these little portholes. Just give them a little bit. This is going to take a little while to build up, and I really don't like the way the airbrush is spraying at the moment. So it's pretty clean. I just think it's might be my mix here, and it's really grainy for some reason. I don't know if you can catch that. I'm not sure why it's so grainy, but that's going to be an issue because we're trying to do some super fine detail here, and it's definitely not working the way I want it to. Yeah, look how spattered that is. So I'm going to do some more off camera and see if I can get this thing working a little better. Airbrushes, man, they're temperamental. Every day they can be different. You just the first thing to do is clean it again and see how that works. I really like this airbrush. It's just a little finicky compared to the Iwata, where you can just pretty much blow anything through it. These little hoses I am going to paint green. I just need a good base coat on them because they're probably just going to be dry brushed because of all the texture. So we're just going to get a dark green base coat on that and go from there. So I'm going to do some more off camera. I'm going to take a look at this airbrush and see if I can fix it up a little bit. It doesn't seem to be working the way I want it. Yeah, I mean, it's just so spattered. I'm not sure why. But yeah, we'll come back after I do some more. Well, I just layered with that first color. What was it? The Caliban green from G-Dub. It's the darkest green I have. So now I just add a little bit of goblin green in. Just going to get the lighter color coming through the brush. Mixed it up. I think what dried up in my airbrush mixture is actually the matte medium. I think is at the bottom hard. So that's going to be an issue. I'm going to have to make more because I noticed like how glossy it's coming out. So yeah, I'm not on my game here, I feel. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint this dark at the top, light at the bottom. Even this globe, or should this globe be, yeah, since this is convexed or concave? Convexed. These ones are going to be just light in the middle, so I'm going to start using a goblin green. I hate how this is spattering. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm getting kind of frustrated with it. I don't know if you can see how speckled that is. I gotta fix this airbrush. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take a break here because I absolutely hate the way that's coming out. So, and try to fix the airbrush. It happens from time to time. Got to get it right, and probably doesn't help that my airbrush medium is not exactly what it should be. So I'm going to fix up a new bottle of that, I think, and maybe give this airbrush a good cleaning. Even though it was clean, it's spattering so bad. I'm not sure why. The air pressure seems to be good. Paint might be a little thick, but then again, thinning it with not the proper stuff isn't going to help me either, so I just got to get this all fixed up. Okay, so as I always tell my friends with airbrushing, when in doubt, clean it. Look at how nice that is. I don't know if you can see that. It's a lot less speckled. I also mixed up a new bottle in my sriracha container of flow improver. Well, it's actually less, I forget his last name, Amazing Paint Job on YouTube. It's a mix of Liquitex matte medium. It's with some distilled water and then a little bit of flow aid to make it nice and smooth. So that's what we do. Let's give this a try now. I might have to just repaint all this because of how speckled it was, but I'm thinking about putting a gloss over it anyway, so it actually might not be too bad. So yeah, that looks a lot better. I'm going to get it out towards the edges a little bit more. Just using pretty much all air here and just pulling back on the trigger just a little bit. We're going to go brighter with that green in the middle, but that looks pretty good there. How dirty my hands are. Man, that's disgusting. Actually, that's powder from the latex gloves that I should be wearing. So let's try this one. Try to smooth out all the speckling that we had. You know, this is a lot of air, hardly any paint. Just pulling back on the trigger just a little bit, letting it contact and dry pretty quickly. Am I on camera? Yeah, I am. Look at that. I'm learning, boys. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. We're gonna go lighter with that, but I'm gonna do the rest off camera. So these portholes, I want to go dark at the top, light at the bottom. So I might have to just put my thumb over some of these because these guys are really tight together. That's really small. And I should probably put some gloves on. Alright, so we're going to be back and I'll show you what that looks like after using the Goblin Green, and then we're going to go a little lighter. Alright, so we got our Goblin Green on. That's what the portholes are looking like. The overspray obviously doesn't matter because we're just going to paint that by brush anyway. I'm actually going to liquid mask these portholes. They're getting pretty close. I'm going to probably do 2 more steps of green just to get that fade right. Probably going to go with Scorpion Green next, and then I'll just finish it off with Livery Green from Vallejo. So let me do that, and we'll be back. So I just hit everything with the Scorpion Green. It's coming together pretty good. Let me see if I can get a close up of that. Yeah, the transitions are getting pretty nice. I just need one more coat. I'm going to do Livery Green and just try to hit the bottoms, and then I'll probably go back with the brush and try to edge the tops there. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let me see. And you know, just the airbrush is always just a battle. I think I got like a little sprue right on the tip of on that needle. It's hard to tell, but I can kind of feel it with my finger, and that's not good. So I'm going to try to sand that off at some point, but I'm not worried about it right now. And I don't advise you to do this at home. Try and clean some of the paint off of that tip. So yeah, I'm going to hit it with the Livery Green yet and finish them up. I think the portholes are looking pretty good. I like the way they look on here, nice and bright. I want to get it a little bit brighter at the bottom, and then try to edge the top here with a brush. Oh, sorry. Try to edge the top there with the brush just a little bit to get that, to capture that curvature. So yeah, let's get on the Livery Green here as I'm shaking it up, and we'll come back. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of the livery green on camera here. I just did this bottom one. There's a nice feature in this airbrush, and I actually don't use it enough. Like back here, if you see, there's a peg, and it's actually a resistor. It changes how much you can pull back. And this is actually probably a good spot to use it, but I don't know if I'm going to. So what we're just trying to do here is, and I messed up before, so I had a little bit of water on it. We just want to hit this bottom area, and I mean I'm pressing down with air and just slightly pulling back. I just want a nice little piece of brightness, and my paint is super thin in the airbrush right now, and my pressure is pretty low. So I'm just trying to hit that bottom. And what's nice is when you're painting on the outside, like I can see right there, I hit the edge, so I know where my brush is going to be hitting. I'm just trying to go lots of air and just try to just kiss the bottom of that to just bring a lot more color into it, a brighter color into it. So a lot of air, and just subtly hitting that trigger back. It's getting a little speckled. Maybe there's a little bit of dryness on my tip there. Always keep the tip dry. That is a reference to next level painting. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. I think that's pretty good. That might get just a small green wash. I'm not sure if it's going to be too bright. So this little one in the front. I don't think people appreciate actually how much work goes into something like this with the airbrush. I have 4 colors on here just for these small little circles. Get this water off. And it's just a matter of building up your color the way you want, and just hitting it the way you want it. Compressor sounds a little funny. It's always an adventure when you're airbrushing. Nothing ever is perfect. But you just kind of battle and get it right. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a nub at all this. It's probably the case. On that one, you can see I started to build up a little bit, and it's not creating a smooth transition because I was going a little too much paint. But I'm pretty okay with it. I think those are bright enough. They look pretty cool. So yeah, let's see. Let's do a little bit more on camera and see how. Maybe I can mess up once or twice and show you how I try to fix stuff. Yeah, we're just. Oh, it's tough to get the camera angle so you're not just seeing the airbrush. Trying to get a little bit on that bottom there. And do the same thing on this porthole. Get that nice little patch of brightness with the livery green. These are a little bigger, so I'm going just a little bit more paint. And you can see this back one, I actually did mess that up a little bit. The transition is weird. But I might come back in with the dark green just to smooth all that out, or possibly do just a green wash over it. I don't really want to dull the green like a wash would do, so we'll see how it looks. We'll see how it looks after get some of the other part of the ship painted. But I really like the way it's coming out. I think it looks good. Let's get this little ball down here. This might be pretty soft. Really just want to get like a pinpoint of light on top of that bad boy. That looks pretty good. I like that. I wonder how that's showing up on the camera. This is all experimental as far as my camera skills go. So I'm going to do my best. Just try to show you guys what I do and I document this project. I'm curious. I'm hoping that my color scheme's cool. I hope. I'm going to kind of go with a GW color scheme that's in one of the books just because I want to use that certain skyport. I'm not sure how that's going to be approached in tournaments yet, because definitely certain skyports have more advantage. But yeah, those are looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way these portholes are looking. Just gonna hit the bottom again. Some livery, see, right there. Hey, Dunk's in the house. It's just a little too much paint, and I got a mark there. So we can fix it with more air and just paint and try to smooth that out. But these are light. This is so light touches. I don't know if you can see. You can see my finger in the video, but I'm just subtly pulling back. And yeah, I really should have the restrictor on this airbrush for this particular. I mean, this is the best case for it. It's just that sometimes the paint builds up on the tip, and maybe I should put a little flow aid in here. And you need to kind of release all the way. So with the restrictor there, you can't release all the way. I'd have to push it in and set it every single time. But there could be a way around that. I just don't know what that is, because I don't really use it that much. I try to just trust my trigger pull and get that nice gradient on there. I think hand's a little shaky. I think this is coming out pretty good. I'm happy with the way the portholes look. It also helps me introduce another color into the color scheme. That's going to play a minor role in the color scheme, but it's nice because it brings in the advantage of if I want to use any purple for lenses, green and purple is complementary color scheme, and they look really good. They really pop off of each other. So if I do use some purple, which I'm not sure if I'm going to yet, there's definitely going to be blue in here. So blue and green look great together. The Seattle Seahawks will tell you that. And that gives me the opportunity to use purple in some small spots. I'm going to be using a silver and like a cream color. So all these colors kind of harmonize pretty well, I think. And I'm hoping to use this green on some other spots. But yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So let's just finish this up. I know a lot of this is going to be on camera and airbrush, but I don't remember if I did this point, so we're going to just do this again. Ah, and then I messed up. I botched it. But what we can do is, if we hit the water real fast with the brush, and get in there and just kind of do that, dry it up, dry the brush a little bit more, and we can fix that up real quick, just like so. Just had a little bit too much paint there, so that happens. And dry it off with the airbrush a little bit. In the meantime, I think I did that port. So yeah, so that's how they're looking so far. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of the ones that I need, and we'll turn the camera back on and see where we're at.